What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. We are back in action here. Let me bring Craig in. Craig,
Yo,
are you there?
I am here, man.
What are we celebrating?
Uh, you know, the Lake Show is back where they belong. World champions. This hat is from the Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Abdul Jabbar era. Can't get that hat no more. And of course, this mug was made for me by one of my clients. We're drinking in celebration since we can't do a parade.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the Lakers. Well, I should say one of their players, but I think you know why. But hey, I don't think anybody was watching the game. Ratings said they were 1/5 of what they were. No, it was like 3 million, 2 million people watched of 18 and a half last year.
Haters,
More people watched a Sunday night game.
haters.
Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Shout out to Mike Adams, sent me a new book. If you guys haven't picked it up, Misdirection by Mike Adams, Guide for the C-Suite. Check it out. Forward by a man by the name of Craig Lack.
That looks vaguely familiar.
But Mike, you forgot to sign the book out. He sent me a nice fancy box with the book on it.
No.
No
Michael,
signed
it's
book.
like burying the punchline, brother. When you send somebody a book, you have to sign it. Come on, learn how to play the game.
I'm sending it back. I want another one. I want it signed. Pretend like I know the author here.
It's a doorstop until you sign it.
There you go. So let me just pull this up here, guys. What do we got tonight, Greg? What do you want to talk about?
Jesus. Little of this, little of that, fourth quarter stories.
Week from hell.
Somebody have some balls, ask a question. You know, that's what we're here for. My goodness gracious. Yeah, I mean, we're getting weekly stories of trials and tribulations of brokers whose feet fell asleep months ago, maybe years ago, and then suddenly they found out that there was somebody sneaking in their backyard. And, you know, some of you guys and gals are losing business out there because you're not taking care of what you should have. You can't fall asleep. You can't assume you're going to have this case forever. You can't assume that executive relationships won't change, and that you can't assume that they're not going to hire somebody new and it's going to be a new sheriff into town. You can't assume that if asked to defend why you make what you make on a case, knowing that somebody else shined a light on your compensation, you should be proactive in being able to defend that. Because if in fact you're performing in a stellar fashion, then it's easy to defend. But if you know when you look in the mirror that in fact you did as little as possible to make the money and you hit the easy button, broker's favorite button. I got to get one of those things. We need a sound effect, John. Hit the easy button. Go, hey, it's 5%, paper group 6.5%. Yeah, great. See you next year. You're just opening yourself up to being exposed. What is it Warren Buffett says? You know, when the tide goes out, you find out who's swimming naked. And some of our brokers are finding out that they're swimming naked and their client doesn't like the view.
You know, I think I saw some people send some stuff out on renewals, and you know, the least thing you could do is at least put something together that looks good. Remember, if you're looking to not be judged by just the numbers of an increase or what have you, don't just send them the numbers. You better tell them a story with that. Every renewal meeting is a story, and you better remind them of the story of how you met, okay? And that love life, that you had that was so good every year, because they may be thinking about divorce at this meeting. This could be a divorce, and you just don't know it. So if your wife was thinking about possibly getting a divorce from you, and this was the meeting just for, what would you do? You didn't want to get a divorce. Now, let's just say you didn't want to get a divorce. Most of you might be the latter. But you would tell them the stories of all those good times you had together. So what do I mean? I mean, you better remind them of everything that you did for them every year, because they forget. It's like
it's human nature. What have you done for me lately?
Exactly. And I had looked at a group, and I even looked at my account manager, and it was going up 12%. I'm like, God damn it. This is terrible, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking at the carrier. I even looked at the carrier like they were ripping us off for a second. Then I went back and I looked at the report because I said, give me the savings report. Give me the 5-year report of where we were. And then I go, well, okay. I forgot that they gave us a 30% decrement a couple years back. And now we're still paying less. But even I forgot and had to tell myself the story until I looked through the analysis. Shit, let me see if I can even find one. But
Yeah.
I'm going to, while Craig's talking, I'm going to look for one and see if I can show you an example. But
yeah, I mean, think about the conversation while you look, John. I'll talk. Hey, think about the conversation right now with, these darn carriers. It's like, wait, you have the audacity, the temerity to have a rate increase? Are you shitting me? You guys printed money this year. Hell, most of you are trying to cook the book so you don't have an MLR rebate check, because we know you hate sending those to policyholders. And so you've got to be willing to negotiate with these guys, premium holiday, rate passes. Do you need competitive quotes or not this year? Figure out the game, but do not fall asleep and pass on these 10% rate increases that I see carriers offering brokers around the country like it's another year. We all know for a fact that in every state they were closed for weeks and months, and people couldn't actually access their care. And so the consequence of that is, of course, the insurance carriers made an extraordinary amount of money. So for them to be throwing 10% double-digit rate increases into your client's face is disgusting. So you need to be prepared to go to the wall on those things to get them to come down. And whatever means you need to do that, this is the time to shine for your client. Because let's face it, we all know the dirty little secret at the end of the day. It's like, God, if I can just get them renew, I've got locked in money for 12 months. Well, that's the assumption. And you need to be careful about that, because trust me when I tell you, I talk to brokers all across the United States in independent, regionals, nationals, and the smart ones are looking at how to do full court presses on prospecting next year with the anticipation that the carriers, the reinsurers, are going to be attempting to dramatically goose up renewals under the cover story of COVID in 2020. And of course, the claims that came in and took a while to hit. And so they're going to manifest in the 21 renewals. And so you have to anticipate that, right? Guys, stop playing checkers. One move at a time. It doesn't work. You got to play chess. So look what's going on in the market, recognize the opportunity, and the opportunity is there. We all know that the average relationship is probably a little sleepy out there. You got the brokers who have been selling their wonderful compliance and administration and communication, and they haven't been doing a lick on how to reduce the claims, how to control the costs, how to save the client money. And so therein lies your opportunity to disrupt, right? We talk about the Trojan horse solutions. You have ample opportunity to sneak in the back door and say, we're the only ones that you're going to talk to that'll put their money where their mouth is and only get paid if we save you money. And so it's just so easy. I mean, we talk about this ad nauseum. There's so many easy ways to have conversations that sound different than everybody else. You have to be willing to try them. If you don't, it's okay. Learn at your own pace. Your education will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Good luck. That's the whole point of our show, right? We're going to shorten your learning curve if you care enough to pay attention. John, what do you got, buddy? You find something?
Let's see if I can get this up here. Here we go. Here we go. Uh-oh. Let's see.
I'm savoring my sweet Lakers victory.
So, simple savings chart. This is what I start most of the meetings with. Of course, especially if it looks really good. And this basically will show us, hey, here's where you were. Okay. First line, trend line is green, was fully insured. Let's say this is where I should say, this is where you started in the green line, right? When when you met me. The blue line was your renewal. Okay, this is a PEPY basis. And then the green line is what you actually paid at the end of the year. So again, this is after run out costs. And then I just take a simple PWC trend of 6.5 or 7.5, depending on the market, and I just show it in red to show them, had we never met, this is where you would be, my friend. Let me blow this up. This is where you would be. Then I go and show this one, which is very similar, and say, look, you were at 11,349. You went to $7,800. The red line is the fully insured trend. Let's take a look. Year after year after year, we keep saving money. We still haven't paid what we did when we met. And this is before I go into, oh, by the way, we increased your employee benefits to lower copays, 0 deductibles if they do the right thing, and we threw away that big name network that doesn't really matter, right? The proof is in the pudding. Again, what am I doing here? I'm reminding my wife of all the good times we had.
Yeah.
So she doesn't file for divorce, because that's expensive. Divorce is expensive, even when you're losing in a case here, right?
Here's the point, guys and gals. If you're not doing this, let's be honest, it's because you're trying to get away with doing as little work as possible. You can't afford to do that.
How hard is this to do?
That's not difficult, right? You have the data. If you're still thinking you have to do it, well, that's part of your problem, right? That's $15 an hour work. You need to have somebody else doing that in your office. So shame on you. You still haven't learned. You will, or you won't, and you'll be broke. So you have to do the work. There's only the pain of change or the pain of regret. And the pain of regret costs a lot of money. Been there, done that. So learn.
Yeah, I mean, look, you gotta grease it up, especially if you give them an increase. They had a bad year. It is what it is. Hey, we got to take an increase. But let me remind you. Oh, by the way, so let's take a look at this from an annual savings standpoint, Mr. Employer. First year we saved $169,000. Next year, $187,000. This again is based on had we never met and you took those increases every year without cutting benefits and shifting costs, you just kept it consistent. I could even go and say, well, let's look if you increased your benefit, because that's what we did for ours if we really want to look apple to apple. But let's just say you took the increase every year. Here's what we would have saved you. And now I go to the most important chart, which is what? Cumulative. Take this down here. This shouldn't be here. But I go to cumulative, right? What does cumulative look like? Mr. Employer, had we never met, you would have spent $945,000 more on benefits. $1 million. That's what I'm worth to you. $1 million had we never met. Now, I want to remind them of this, okay? Because they very quickly forget when all you do is send the number and send an email and say, hey, it's not that bad this year. It's 6%. It's 7%. It's 3%. It's not that bad. They don't remember all this. I don't ever send a renewal by email on a self-funded account like this. Never. Because that's like trying to sell self-funding through email. Would you ever try to sell a self-funded concept case through email, Craig? Does that make sense? What are your chances of selling the case versus fully insured?
Yeah, they got to be pretty skilled to understand it.
Yeah.
So not likely. Hey, go back to that $1 million page, because here's another opportunity to have a conversation. That's $1 million, Mr. Miss CFO. You told me that your average wage is $50,000 per employee. I generated the equivalent of 20 FTEs. Shame on you if you don't know what an FTE is. It's a full-time equivalent. You generate 20% net profits. That's the equivalent of $5 million in sales. Oh, by the way, just for the heck of it, would I be your number one salesperson? Right? That's $1 million to the CEO who owns 100% of the company, and the average company in your space is valued at 10 times earnings. I generated $1 million of earnings. It's $10 million of net worth for the CEO. Did you tell him or her that? Because I need to get the credit. So you can't just, don't leave that sitting there. That's gold. Learn how to frame it so that it's valuable to the person you're talking to, so they can get significance with the person they report to and go, damn, that's good, right? I told John Clay in Vegas, right? Because he was lucky enough. He does business with us. He doesn't just talk about it. He doesn't just shop. He actually uses us. So he came to Vegas at our little private event a couple of weeks ago, and I told him, don't just show the dollar amount of savings. Figure out where it's more meaningful to that particular client and use the number that's meaningful to them. It might be, in my example that I just gave you, saved enough money to hire 20 FTEs, created $10 million of net worth for my CEO, created the equivalent $5 million on the sign that they hold up, right? Figure out how to ethically manipulate the number so that you get the biggest bang for the buck, and then learn to articulate the message to the buyer in such a form and fashion that they can leverage it with their direct report to get significance. Significance creates certainty. Job certainty creates loyalty to you. And at the end of the day, it's all that matters is relationships, because all this stuff is just gobbledygook numbers that any monkey can do at the end of the day. You develop the relationship by giving that executive confidence and certainty and significance, and that endears them to you, and they'll figure out a way to save you when the stranger comes through the door promising them all of the great stuff. Hey, we have lawyers on staff. You don't have to do this with that little boutique guy or gal. We've got it all in-house. We're national. We're the 6th largest. We're the 3rd largest. We're the 2nd largest. Learn to compete against that or get crushed by it.
Yeah, let me I think I started to create a new one here. But that's a great idea, that I like that. I'm taking notes here watching the show, because I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to equate it to whatever. Let's say Hoda.
Whatever gives us a bigger image.
Yeah, I mean, I want to
bigger
blow
impact.
up. Listen, I want to make it favorable to me. That I want to blow up the savings number as high as I can, and the increase number as low as possible. Right? When I look at oh, there goes my mic here.
Hey,
hold on.
The things are falling apart in Jersey.
When I go to
the whole state's falling apart.
When I go with a self-funded increase, I want to illustrate the fixed cost, right? What's the impact of the plan? It's 5%. Well, it's 1.1 or 1.15 to the plan. The claims are on the back end.
You went too fast there. You just lost half the audience.
So if I do a stop loss renewal, and the increase on ours on Virtue Health is 5%, let's say, the stop loss. Well, what's the impact of the plan? When you say 5%, they hear 5% renewal. No. It's 1.15 to max cost. So it's a 1.15 increase. They built in some claims in the corridor way in the back end that will never get there. You see what we're running at the past 3 years. So we're getting an increase of X. It's equivalent to $15,000. That's it. Great. Have a nice day. I want to play it down as much as possible and really show them what it is. Because when you say 6% or 10%, they don't understand that. They only know that as it's going up again. It's going up again. So I want to illustrate it and talk about it and tell the story around it methodically. And then I want to show my savings and value as to what I'm worth for you is why you're paying me. And then, hey, I want to raise. This is what I'm worth. Now I want to raise. You want to raise? You want to get more? This is how you do it. You can't just go in and say, paying me more. Let me see here. Who's in the group? Say hello. Dan Broad, John Clay, Tony Chandler, Spencer Gold, Craig Lack. Oh, hey, Craig. Bill Schmaltz, Nick Boshin, Fran, Paul Seeger. So let me fix my mic, Craig. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, for those of you online, thanks for watching. You can basically, jump into the deep end here. The water's fine. So, lessons to be learned today. Don't screw with the Lakers. Hey, You know what's funny? So today they announced Nick Saban was diagnosed with COVID. The sports book in Las Vegas lowered the spread on their next game by a field goal immediately. So how does that relate to healthcare? Well, okay, when you learn to think like me, you think like this. It's the equivalent of saying, I got that Taco Bell chef who went to this class, which shall remain unnamed, that lists all these cool ingredients. And then these people go out and pontificate on how they know the list of ingredients, and then they pretend like they can cook a 5-star meal, but they're not a 5-star chef. And so look what Vegas value, that's unheard of. That's an extraordinary movement that fast. And that was for the coach. Well, the coach is the 5-star chef of the Alabama football team. And he's so valuable. Yeah, but there's a system, Tom Brady's a system quarterback. Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, not everybody went to 9 Super Bowls or won 6. Okay, that's not an accident. The guy at the top of the mountain, he didn't fall there. Wake up. So, my analogy there for Coach Saban is you need to learn from people who do this for a living, who talk to CFOs and CEOs and HR directors and total rewards VPs and actually are in the trenches every week. That's how you get through the learning curve.
Wait, you mean to tell me you train CFOs? Are you training somebody to talk to CFOs?
Jesus.
What kind of organization?
Yeah, you can go to the source or you can get it third hand.
Can you give us an idea of the people you're training on the amount of lives of those employers that they're going to be talking to?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I mean, one case is bigger than the entire books of most agencies.
Without a doubt.
Times 10.
Shout out to John Clay. I was going to say it's a lot bigger than that. Shout out to John Clay. John Clay's a guy that he's at least showing checks. Now, he called me today. He's got about 8-9 checks. He's documenting what he's doing. Again, guys, just a point.
Awesome.
We're talking about renewals. I think it was a good point of topic, even though we didn't plan it. But the reality is this is in your stewardship report, your annual review, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't really care. But make sure it looks good. You see the big box store, it shows all the work that they did. I mean, they got to justify the cost, right? They don't typically know how to lower claims. They could show savings, but they could show all the cool shit that, my favorite is the wellness or the diabetes programs that potentially saved us money or assume that we save this much money. I love that.
Watch the show from Al Lewis last week if you didn't see it, right? On how if we create the illusion that we're doing something, that's all that most of the buyers need or want, is to feel good that they think they're doing everything possible to try and control their costs. And it feels good. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, real consultants get paid based on outcomes and results. And so your opportunity to create a wedge is in the fact that you can create a contrast to the outcomes that are currently produced and the cost that they pay a consultant, an advisor, a broker to get those results versus, well, I'm sure your advisor does that generates ... right? No. Well, after you do that 2 or 3 or 4 times without giving up the secret sauce, the colonel doesn't tell what his 13 secret herbs are for a reason. Coke and Pepsi don't give out their formula for a reason. So you have to learn how to brand these things that create contrast and comparison. So you're driving a wedge by asking questions of a prospect that, of course, you do this and it gets that result, knowing that they don't. So by just asking questions, you create a wedge, and that's really, really important. So I know we're kind of going all over the place tonight, but this is the way the business is. It's fluid. You think things aren't changing? Wake the hell up, guys.
John had showed me. He said, "So look, I got this check. I sent it out to this prospect from last year, and so last year, I think me and John were arguing over. We worked a consulting agreement. I think he got paid a decent amount of money to quote it instead of doing it for free, and he didn't get the case. Now it's okay. You're not going to get every one, but he got paid a decent amount of money to do shit that he was going to do for free." So they take one of his recommendations on pharmacy and they implement the pharmacy and they hire the other broker. And I think I forget what it was, a TPA or whoever they went with. Maybe it was a UMR or something. And turns out they're not running so well, but they saved a shit ton of money on pharmacy that he recommended. And now they reach back out to him after he showed him the check to say, "Hey, we want to hire you again for consulting.
What else you got?
I want to pay you again." Okay. And I said, "Look,
I think you've done that a couple times, John.
yeah." I was like, "Let me think through this." I was like, "You know what? Get the guy on the phone and just tell him it's broker of record time." And then I pulled back and said, "You know what? If they're hot to pay the consulting agreement, get them to sign a thing, take the check, and then say, hey, I'll give it back to you if you sign the broker record over. But take the money if they're going to give it to you." So
Exactly.
just another example of what he did there and just showing the outcomes from other clients and creating an opportunity with the prospect again in the second year versus just calling and talking about what maybe they're going to do. I mean, we live in a world of social proof. And if you don't have social proof around it, then people are not as comfortable to do it. And a bigger name is typically why they will do something. If, XYZ did it, if Amazon did it, then
it's the illusion of
good.
security.
So,
yeah.
I think I can't remember the name of the prospect or if this was a county. John does a lot of counties, but he had a county. This might have been another county that he sent it to show him, hey, I've already done this. Instead of him just saying he did it, well, here it is. Here's a picture of me holding up the check. Hey, John, I think John's watching. John, put the link to your, and he's already got it up on his blog, on his page. He's making case studies, going to be sending them out. And it's a great marketing piece. A lot of you probably do wonderful things for your clients and then don't utilize that, whether it be through a testimonial video or just the information. Give them a discount or something on the renewal to be able to use as a testimonial. Say, I was going to raise you this, but I'm willing to waive the change in fees if you're willing to be utilized as a resource for me for references and maybe shoot a quick video for me. And most of them will always say yes. I usually don't get many people that say no. So
yeah, I mean, John could put 3 of those pictures up as a marketing piece and say, where are you going to find the budget to replace the lower income tax revenue, sales tax revenue, property tax revenue for your public sector budget?
Hold on, I got it. Let me see if I can find this here. I'm going to put John Boy on the screen. Chrome tab. Let me find him here.
He's driving right now.
Oh, I got it. Can you see
there you go.
A handsome fella. Not all SG&A cuts have to cause pain. How construction company / medical plan 39%. Opportunity, solution, payoff. Little breakdown. Very nice. I think he's got a bunch of them too. Here you go. Here's another one. 100,000. Oh, here you go. 100,000 on healthcare is equivalent to 1 million in new revenue. Hey, John Boy's listening. Can you see that, Craig?
Yeah.
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 He's not as dumb as he looks. Big John over there, Kentucky. Oh, another one. Look at this guy.
Taking care of business.
Another case study.
I like the smile.
Another case study.
Right. See, he doesn't. So this is the lesson, everybody watching. You don't have to say a word if the social proof says it for you. That's the essence of positioning and authority. If you Google your name and you suck, then shame on you. If you Google John Clay's name and he's got all of these different proof and evidence that he delivers incredible value, well, by the time he gets on the phone with somebody, and trust me, they're checking you out before you get on the phone with them. Google makes it so easy. If you have the social proof, and Google says it's true, you've already taken care of all of the, well, yeah, but who are you? And how do you compare? And how many clients do you have? And do you have any clients our size? Do you have any clients in our state? Do you have any clients that are in our industry? All those stupid questions go away.
Here he is. Craig Lack, most effective consultant you never heard of. Entrepreneur gave up NBA dreams to make millions. Videos. Amazon bestseller. Let's see here. Images. Is there images of him? Yep, that's him.
That's me.
Look at that. Hey, Bookie was part of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh wow, how did this get on here? Oh yeah, you shot that video on the page by mistake.
I tripped over this and didn't even know what I was doing and created it.
Look, YouTube video. Yeah. Perfect.
I don't get a single question from 100,000 employee companies. Who are you? And blah, 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 all the usual crap. Never. I don't do a thing for that because I leveraged the different media and social proof.
Give them an idea how to get on TV for next year.
Oh my goodness. Go down to the local, whatever community you're in, go down to the local TV news station and ask them, how much does it cost to be on the show? And they'll tell you. You can get interviewed if you have something that's current, relevant, and of course, you don't crap your pants because you're on live television, which is great practice to figure it out. And now you have an interview of you talking about healthcare it has to be provocative, it has to be interesting. It doesn't even have to be healthcare, guys. You could talk about making frickin' popcorn. So the number one thing you do is go on to those Google calendars that says every day of the year is like 3 different. It's National Hot Popcorn Day. It's, whatever the day is. So in advance. And so you literally can reach out to the news and go, I have a bit on, cooking healthy. And you literally can go and get interviewed and pay for the access. And if you can do a show that's interesting to them, they'll invite you back on. Now, if you have the opportunity to do something that's directly or indirectly related to healthcare, and it's timely within the window of, hey, I just saw an email today. It's National Health Education Month of October, right? Well, shit, Quizify should be all over that, right? Al Lewis could get on television anywhere in America to talk about October is National Consumer Education, Healthcare Consumer Education Month. Shit, you could do a show on that, talking about Al's solution if you want. No brainer. And now they go to their website and they go, this guy was interviewed on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. Holy crap! This person must be an expert. Because my broker, who worked for ABC National Firm, they don't even show up when I do a Google search. See the difference? Invest in yourself. Be afraid. That's your sign you're doing something useful. If you're afraid to do it, and what I just said scared the hell out of you, that's exactly why you should do it. That's how you're going to expand your world. You'll never be the same struggling broker again if you just use, implement, execute some of the things we talk about. For those who do it, they're making more money and they'll never be the same.
And be as easy as that if you just do it and try it. If anybody else wants to share something below that you're using on your renewal meetings to tell the story, to sell the story, sell the results. Share below. Bad renewals. If you got a bad renewal, what's a good way to dance around? A good way to dance around it is show them what you did up till then, and let them know that every year is not going to be perfect. 1 in 5 years, you're going to have a bad year, and depending on the case size, but I'll have to give that one some more thought. But
well, I mean, there's a million ways, right? Hey, guys, let's talk about it. Were you fully insured? Okay, don't shoot the messenger, right? It's like buying milk and cookies at the frickin' 7-Eleven. Okay, so we're going to show you what the options are. It's a commodity. The carriers are scumbags. All the rates are public knowledge. So if somebody's under the market and they know that the other guy's rates are, they're not going to leave any money on the table. Back in the day, they used to not know what anybody's rates were, so they never were quite sure. Can we get away with 8% as an initial renewal offer? And now everybody knows everybody else's numbers. So it's a shitty place to be in, but don't shoot the messenger. And so here's all the rates available. Here's the options. You walk them through based on what I know about your group. You're going to be willing to do this. This is why I recommend that. And you walk them through it. You're self-funded. It's like, it's a different conversation. Hey, did we have a shock loss? Was it predictable? Is it explainable? Did we just have a bad year? Here's how the math works. Here's what the actuarial science says. This is what happens. Understanding that there's an opportunity cost to lose money occasionally so we can make money most of the years, in comparison and in contrast to prepaying an organization whose business model is diametrically opposed to saving us money. And so, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to talk about that.
I think it's back to the history on what you saved. I had a conversation with a broker today, and it's like, look, is there a chance you'll spend more money year one? Of course. There's risk to get a reward. It's not all going to match up to fully insured first year, but, you're talking to a business owner. It's like, did you plan on making money in year one when you opened your business? Did you think that you probably, when you left that high-paying job, that you were going to make less money year one? As an employer, of course, you knew you weren't going to make as much. You'll probably make less. But over time, you're going to make more money. And this is a long-term play strategy. This isn't an employee play where I'm an employee. And I'm taking the safe play every year. That's fully insured. You want to go that route, stay fully insured. You have no control, right? It's like being an employee.
I would argue against that. See, if I was retail, I would argue that everything you think you know is wrong. Let me show you. Right? You think that the safe play is staying fully insured, and in fact, that's how they became $60 billion companies, by taking advantage of buyers' ignorance. Let me explain to you. And then you show them that the most expensive option you can take is remaining fully insured. That creates a wedge. You have to be distinctive and provocative. Jesus, if you just go in there and you toe the corporate line, right, you're going to hear the stuff that I hear from brokers, third party, and go, Craig, you're not going to believe it. The broker, the incumbent, told them that, claims are claims. So understand that that's 90% of your competitors. That's their attitude. That's their perspective. So fly in the face of danger and have an opinion, and don't be weak. Don't be needy. Don't be desperate. This is it. These are the facts. Everything that you think is right is wrong. Here's why. Here's the proof. Jump on board or get rolled over by it and continue to lose money. Now, if you want to do that and you want to do more work, yeah, it's more work to do it the right way. That's the fact. Look, you can all hit the easy button and go, oh, you have United fully insured. Well, we'll just go to UMR and we'll go with, the TPA, and you can keep the same network and you can be fully insured. You're not going to save them, dick. They just changed their financing strategy. Are you going to use a real PBM solution? Are you going to use bundled pricing? Are you going to use RBP? Are you going to do anything? Or are you just going to move them laterally into a different financing strategy, and they can keep the network? And I see the easy button hit every day. And therein lies your opportunity. Just know that 90% of the cases and 90% of your competitors hit the easy button every year. So the question is, can you articulate a decent message where somebody wants to give a shit about why maybe I should take a look at this?
Check out, I almost forgot, show sponsor, Virtue Health. Check us out, virtuealliance.com. Just put the link below. I know a lot of you got your renewals probably stop loss renewals, fully insured renewals, give us a buzz. We'll take a look. We're helping you start to finish on these. Got some great programs available. Consortium's running better than ever. Give us a buzz on the profit share. Shout out to you guys that are doing a lot of business with us. We got a bunch coming in. But we like to work with guys and help them out any way we can, from client to prospect. So give us a shout. New site is coming up. It's in the works. It's getting there, baby. It is getting there. But virtuealliance.com. Yeah, so I think actually, I'm going to send out the new Kaiser report that shows all of it just came out. I'm going to put it on the site, drive some traffic to the site. And it's a good piece to use to show what everybody else is paying. You want to use benchmarks. That's another way to use benchmarks when you're saving a ton of money, and two, if they get a bad renewal, let them know.
Yeah, there's a whole new section this year on bundled. How many employers use bundled pricing type solutions? That's new.
Was Paul say, put your group?
I'm not even retail. You guys should know this stuff.
Exactly. I think that's it. I think we'll end it there, guys. But good luck on your renewals. Give us a buzz. We're happy to help you. Thanks to those that have been working with us, sending stuff in. You could submit it through the portal. You could send it to us. Give us a call. We'll talk about the case. We'll help you with it on the prospect or employer. And we'll wrap it there. See you guys next week. Same place, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Later, guys. Take care.